Hello. If you want to come here to Quebec, Canada to find work in the field of construction, be it as a worker, an engineer, an architect, a technician, or other specialist in the field of construction, even before initiating a job search process, finding employment, or a business, it is very important to be well informed in an unbiased and impartial way. So obtaining good, reliable information in an unbiased, impartial way is very important. Information about what you might ask? Well, information on labor laws, employment legislation, and regulation in the field of construction. Information about wages and salaries. In short, information about a variety of issues that are very important to know in the field of construction here in Quebec, in Canada. Because the realities of work in your country are not necessarily the same as here in Quebec, in Canada. So it is important to know that even if you have a visa to come to Quebec, Canada, even if you have a work permit issued by the government of Canada, that does not mean that you necessarily have the right to work in the field of construction here. There are many other institutions, there are many other organizations and government agencies that legislate in the construction industry inside Quebec. And therefore, once you arrive here, you will also have an effort to make in order to obtain your skills cards. If you are a worker, obtain a certification or an authorization to work if you are an engineer by being a member of the Order of Engineers, by being a member of the Order of Architects. So professional corporations are very important to be taken into account. It's not just something optional, it's mandatory here compared to other countries. There are thus a lot of realities that you need to be made aware of, impartially, through unbiased information here in Quebec, in Canada. So I repeat, the first thing to do is to receive information impartially. Secondly, it is important to receive advice, given all the information that you will obtain impartially, and taking into account your reality of life, your professional experience, your career profile. All that is therefore the advice you would receive to find the best strategy, the best options, the best way to find a job considering all these realities here in Quebec, Canada. So first, information in an unbiased way. Secondly, advice. And thirdly, good contacts. It is very important to have access to contacts that will help you advance your career, even to find schools, contacts for an immigration officer, a lawyer, locate government institutions, to find out what certificates, diplomas, or certifications you must obtain in order to eventually get a job, even by introducing yourself to companies that might hire you. So establishing and getting contacts is also very important. Therefore, information in an unbiased way, that's the first thing. Then there is advice, contacts, and finally, if you have access to a travel guide, someone who can take you through this whole process of information gathering, receiving advice, making and introducing yourself to contacts. Well, it is also recommended to have a travel guide, someone who will welcome you at the airport upon arrival, or who will guide you, bring you to his company, show you how everything operates in a realistic way in the field of construction. So an experienced travel guide in the field of construction is the ideal solution. So that's what I offer. Daniel Dargis, engineer, general contractor, impartial consultant in the field of construction here in Quebec, Canada, to guide you in your research, your career path, your job search here in Quebec, Canada. I just want to clarify a few things here. I want to be very clear before going any further. I am not an immigration officer. I am not a lawyer. I am not allowed to give you information about immigration laws or on the documents you would have to fill out or on much other information on immigration. So I do not touch that area. However, I can inform you about the realities of the construction sector in Quebec, in Canada, being myself an engineer for several years now and a general contractor here in Quebec, Canada. Another thing, I do not offer employment in my company. I do not offer any promise or guarantee of employment, whether in my company or in other companies. But I can inform you, advise you, give you contacts, I can guide you in your business trips, but I do not promise any jobs, whether in my company or in other businesses. And also, I do not provide invitation letters. If you want to come to Quebec or Canada, you have to come by yourself. So, I do not send invitation letters to make it easier for people to come here. So, I am totally impartial, and I give you advice and also contacts, and I guide you through the whole process. But you have to make the effort. You must have resources and skills to come here by yourself if you are not already here in Quebec, in Canada, so that I guide you through the whole process. So I invite you already, even if you are at a distance, to have a first 15-minute conference interview, free of charge. Normally, of course, after 15 minutes, there is a fee. If you want to continue the consultation, you just pay the amount you see here on the page. You can fill out the form that you see here on the screen so that I can receive it, and I or another member of my team, we will then analyze your profile. It's very important to fill out the questionnaire with all the inquiries by putting as much detail as possible on your career profile, your job search profile, and your employment search profile in order to give us a good idea how we can help you here in Quebec, Canada. So this in order to get a first evaluation, a qualification to get the first 15 minutes for free with me by video conference. So I invite you right away to fill out the form and send it to me or other members of my team. We will be looking at it and we will be answering you by email in order to offer you an appointment schedule suite to our business hours here in Montreal, Canada, so that we can talk with one another via video conference over the internet, either by Messenger or Skype. So to have a first interview, see what your profile is and how we can help you. It is very important to have a computer, a good internet link, smooth communication and a camera too, and of course, a place that is calm and quiet without noise in order to have a good conference interview together. So I invite you right now to fill out the form and to send it to me so that it can be examined by me or my team members and to answer you to see if you qualify for a first 15 minutes free conference with me or other members of my team. So see you soon and thank you for listening.